Not that long ago, we were driving the Nexon EV up here in the mountains, in the Himalayas. We set a new record, the highest an electric car has gone to on a motorable road anywhere in the world, to the Umlingla Pass at 19,024 feet. And since then, a lot has changed, including updates to this, the best-selling electric car in the country, the Nexon EV. More range, up from a claimed 437 to 453 kilometers, which means it's time to put it to the test. At Evo India, we take our testing very seriously. We push cars to their absolute extreme limits. And that's why it's time to set another record. We are going cross country, an epic 4,000 kilometer drive from Kashmir to Kanyakumari, the entire length of the country. And we will be doing this in one shot, non-stop. This drive is so epic that it'll obviously have to go into the India Book of Records.
Actually, scratch that. This drive is so epic that we will be attempting to set not one, but over 15 records that will be going into the India Book of Records. Joining us on the first leg are Tata Passenger Electric Mobility's Vivek Srivatsa, the Head of Marketing, Sales and Service Strategy, and Anand Kulkarni, the Vice President Operations, Product Line, Purchase and Supplier Quality. While the crews got ready to flag off the next day, we went for a drive around the Dal Lake.
Let's do the K2K, as we call it, the Kashmir to Kanyakumari. So obviously it's a very unique thing to attempt in an EV. And we also said, let's push a little bit more and see if we can create a kind of record on doing the fastest K2K drive on an EV.
Anand Kulkarni also chipped in with a few efficiency tips.
What I would say, Shirish, is look at trying to use the cruise mode as much as possible, because the way that the car has been set up, the cruise enables you to drive very consistently, and at the same time, it constantly keeps picking up on any road undulations and therefore maximizes the energy efficiency. The second thing I would also say is, try and drive it at more consistent speeds, somewhere around 75 to 85, 90 kilometers. I think this is the speed that the car loves. It's also a speed which is extremely effective in our kind of traffic conditions. It does not bog you down, it does not make you slow, and yet it gives you great progress, and I think this will help.
Both Vivek and Anand will be joining us on day one of the drive. The plan was to flag off from Srinagar at 4 in the morning, except we got news that the Banihal-Kazigund tunnel will be open only at 8. So we got an hour more of shut-eye, and then we were flagged off at 6:30 in the morning by Lieutenant Colonel S.K. Bhosle and the adjudicator from the India Book of Records.
India Book of Records will be adjudicating. I am confirming that we are flagging off from Srinagar on 25th February 2023 at 6:30 am.
Right, this is going to be a long drive, but we've got everything planned down to the T. From here in Kashmir right down to Kanyakumari, we've planned all our charging stops, how long we're going to be charging, our refreshment breaks around the charging, everything has been planned. Our first stop is going to be Jammu, a full 250 kilometers away. Google Maps says it is 6 hours away, and that's where the Nexon EV Max will be charged up.
The 8.45 kilometer Banihal-Kazigund tunnel is one of the longest in India. And since it was shut the previous day for maintenance, we encountered massive traffic tailback. And that was only the start of our traffic woes.
we're not going to be setting any speed records, at least as of now. We are barely 3 hours into the drive and we are already at our second traffic jam. The first one was at the Kazikund tunnel, and now in the middle of a town 150 kilometers down from Srinagar, we've blocked the traffic coming up. So it's a single lane road. This is what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lanes. The upcoming traffic can't go, down traffic can't go. We've been here for half an hour. Looks like it'll be another half an hour until this mess clears up. This is the joys of driving on the Indian highway.
Some amount of hardship is acceptable considering the scale of the ongoing road works. But it is astonishing that the local authorities aren't making a serious effort in enforcing some discipline, which will go a long way in reducing the stress of driving from Srinagar to Jammu. As for the Nexon EV, we did not see much of a drop in the state of charge of the battery. We did have a backup charging stop lined up at Patnitop, but the Nexon EV had more than enough range to make it all the way to Jammu without that halt.
It's taken us 8.5 hours. Would you believe it? 8.5 hours to do the 250 kilometers from Srinagar to Jammu, and now we are at the charger at Jammu. The car has got 14% of charge left. We are at the Tata Power charger at Jammu, just next to the railway station. Now there's only one gun here at the charger. There's another charger 10 minutes away. So the second car will peel off, go out there, and now the two cars will split up. So the lead car will move ahead and the second car will be coming a little bit behind us. So in the other shots, you won't see both the cars together because that now has to go and find another charger and get juiced up.
At every charge stop, we will put a full data sheet that you now see on the left of your screen with the charging time, units consumed, and importantly, the cost of the charge, so that at the end of the K2K drive, we will know exactly how much this drive cost us.
Since this is a non-stop record run, we're going to be taking turns at driving. I've just taken over from Suresh because he needs to rest, but more likely he's going to be hammering away at some social media. We're going to keep swapping drivers at regular spots. We could attempt to push right through, but fatigue will set in, our reaction time will go down. Safety is non-negotiable for us. We don't want to take any chances.
6:30 in the evening, exactly 12 hours since we started off from Srinagar. We are at Pathankot. This is our second charging stop. This has been a long day. We've lost around 3 hours in all the traffic jams between Srinagar and Jammu. But now the roads are opening up. It's 4-lane highway, so we should make some time. And as the sun sets, we head off to Ludhiana. That will be our next charging stop. Grab a quick cup of coffee and hit the road again.
178 kilometers later, we plugged in at Dada Motors in Ludhiana, by which time the sun was hanging low in the sky, night was falling, and our stomachs were rumbling, which got satiated by a fantastic dinner at the Prakash Dhaba. Then on, we hit the new Trans-Haryana Expressway, and at Mandwal and Kotputli, we got mobile chargers from HopCharge to meet us on the highway, and that allowed us to stick to the fastest possible route.
This drive is also giving us an opportunity to try out the different charging solutions available across the country. Now in North India, a unique solution is the HopCharge, which is basically a valet kind of service. So you give them your location and they come to you. They bring the charge to you in that van. Now I must tell you, that is not a diesel generator. They have a 60 kilowatt battery in there. They go to a fast charger, top up their batteries, they come to you, they got a 50 kilowatt charger, gives you charge, and then you are on your way. So you're not using a diesel generator.
Using HopCharge, let us take the brand new Trans-Haryana Expressway that cuts from Ambala all the way to Jaipur. Nearly 350 kilometers of a well-surfaced, superbly designed expressway which rally driver Fabid Emmer had the pleasure of driving over.
It's been 24 hours into the drive and we've already set a couple of records. We've done the fastest crossing of Punjab and fastest crossing of Haryana. We've done 805 kilometers as of now and the spirits are still running high. It's the first time I'm touring in an EV car and this Nexon EV is a proper mile manger. Even after so much driving, I'm still fresh and relaxed.
For the graveyard shift, Anand takes over and explains why an EV is less tiring to drive.
The lack of vibrations and noise delays the onset of fatigue in the Nexon EV. It's also got solid underpinnings that makes it a capable mile muncher on the highway. We've been driving long distances and we are completely relaxed and there is no fatigue at all. The infotainment system is excellent, the speakers are too good and so we can crack on our favorite tunes. But safety is paramount and so we're heading towards Jaipur where we will have our first driver swap. I will be heading out and we will have 2 new drivers joining in on the drive.
I took over at dawn, and as the sun broke through the horizon in the light of the day, the Trans-Haryana Expressway looks even more amazing. But soon we will be back on the regular Indian highways with all the traffic and the associated mess as we head to Jaipur, where Rayman Banaji, Parag Rajda and Madan Chaudhary were waiting to take over from Fabid, Anand and Behram. And while the Nexon charged up, I ran to the loo.
Nothing like a hot shower to get you ready for another 24 hours on the road.
At Jaipur, we charged to 100% and headed to Yash Motors in Bhilwara, 240 kilometers away. Here again we plugged the Nexon EV into the ABB charger and dug into some piping hot samosas and cutting chai. The good highways in Rajasthan meant we could maintain equally good average speeds and cover ground well. We reached Udaipur with 78 kilometers on the range readout, and here we were treated to a suitably royal welcome by the staff at SP Automotive, where we cut the first of what would be many cakes and also were treated to a sumptuous dinner before we got on our way. And then we got stuck in more traffic. Luckily, we found some shortcuts and half an hour later, we were on our way and on to our next charging stop at Himmatnagar, 184 kilometers away. Here, we set a bunch of new records.
So we've just set another record right now, the fastest crossing of Rajasthan in an EV. And we are all set to create another 3 records, the fastest crossing of Gujarat in an EV, the fastest travel time from Delhi NCR to Mumbai in an EV, and the fastest travel time from Jaipur to Mumbai in an EV.
Driving at night means less traffic and more distance covered, but we also have to keep safety in mind.
So, जब कभी भी रात का ड्राइव करना हो आपको, तो सेफ्टी का ध्यान रखते हुए आप चलाएं और खुद को सुरक्षित रखें, दूसरों को सुरक्षित रखें और अपनी मशीन को भी सुरक्षित रखें.
Western India has a good density of chargers, and the further south we got, the closer we got to our base in Pune. At 5:30 in the morning, we reached Baroda and plugged in at ABC Autolink, one of the largest Tata Motors dealerships in the country.
Now the team is actively monitoring the charging situation as well as the traffic on the way and predicting how the traffic is going to increase. It's just about 5:30 in the morning. At Baroda, we're going to charge it completely to 100%, and that means we will probably get enough range to skip the next charging stop at Ankleshwar and go straight to Vapi.
And on this stretch, Parag, who claims he has no lead in his feet, took over to maximize range.
We're trying out different strategies to maximize range, aren't we not, Parag?
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think it's working well. We look comfortable at this point of time. We have more range than we need to get to Vapi.
So what are we doing?
Some very simple techniques. One, the car comes equipped with a regen feature. We've got it in region 2. I think for the highways, region 1 is maybe not enough. Region 2 is just right. Region 3 works very well in the cities and I use it in my car quite often. But I don't think it's appropriate for the highway because it slows you down very drastically. We've been running the car on eco mode, we've been running the AC on the econ mode, and it's pretty comfortable. It's not that we're compromising on how comfortable we are. We need to be comfortable. We're doing a long journey. We have the cruise control on wherever we can because the cruise control, the acceleration and deceleration is much more regulated. We are now 115-20 kilometers to go, and we have a 180 kilometer range, considering that we started with I think 260 to go.
Yeah, we had a
250
20
range.
kilometers deficit when we started off.
Yeah, so, and now we are maybe 50-60 surplus just by being sensible.
So we were supposed to get to Vapi at 1:45 in the afternoon. We will be getting there at 11:30 if the traffic remains the same. So that's
a saving of 2 hours
already.
And really relevant when you need to do 4,000 kilometers in 4 days.
At Vapi, the team also had a quick shower while the Nexon EV got a nice scrub and polish by the enthusiastic staff at Pramukh Automotive.
So our experiment worked. We drove from Baroda to Vapi, 271 kilometers on an Indian highway with the normal traffic at normal speeds, and we made it with 65 kilometers of range spared. So in total, the Nexon EV Max on this kind of driving can deliver 340 kilometers approximately of range, which is a great testament to the improved capabilities and range of this car.
The highways in these parts of Maharashtra and Gujarat aren't too great in terms of the surface of the roads. But the Nexon EV shined in these patches with its great ride and handling, allowing us to maintain the high average speeds we had been doing all this time. In Mumbai, we also caught up with the team at Tata Power, who were providing us with fantastic support all throughout. This was also the halfway mark, and Nilesh Kane, the head of distribution, and Ramkrishna Singh, head of business operations from Tata Power, flagged us off from Fortune Cars in Navi Mumbai for the second half of K2K.
We are a little over halfway into the drive, and this, well, we would normally call this the home stretch, the Mumbai-Pune Expressway, leading home to Pune, except we won't be going home. We will be going to the dealership on the outskirts of Pune, juicing up the Nexon EV, and then carrying on towards Kolhapur, Belagavi, Bengaluru, and then on towards Kanyakumari. But we've reached the halfway mark. Now obviously we got delayed because of the traffic, but there has been an upside, and that is crossing Mumbai and that entire region in the afternoon where we did not get any traffic, and that means we've made up time. So we've recovered some 2.5 hours, and it looks like we are going to be on schedule to do the 4,000 kilometers in under 100 hours.
Night fell once again as we reached the Pune bypass at 7:30 in the evening. We also had our families come over to the Garve Tata Motors dealership to wish us the very best for the next leg.
And we are home. Well, not exactly home. We are in Pune, our hometown, but there's no time to go home. We are on the bypass at the Garve Tata Motors dealership. We're going to juice up the Nexon EV and get back on the road.
By now, the crew had completed a total of 2,500 kilometers. 176 kilometers from Pune, at midnight, we stopped off at Karad to top up. On this, the final leg of our drive, we had rally drivers Sandeep Sharma, Aditya Thakur and Pragati Gowda joining us, while Vikram Kapoor, who was with us right from Srinagar, continued on the drive.
It's a great time to talk about the car that we've been driving, the Nexon EV Max. It is comfortable, the seats are nice and supportive, you get a great view outside, it feels safe, it can perform well, it can carry a fair bit of speeds, and after all these days over all kinds of roads and driving it at a fair clip, there's been not one single squeak, no rattle. It has been utterly reliable, not a single issue. It's now, what, 1:30 in the morning, and I'm still not tired. Okay, I am tired because I have not had a proper night's sleep, but others I'm not exhausted. This car doesn't really ask too much out of the driver. It is easy to drive, takes zero effort to drive. It's just comfortable and it can chew in the miles. I never thought I would say this about an EV, but this EV has chewed in the miles.
Post Karad, traffic thins out, and after Kolhapur, we cross over into Karnataka and stop over at Belagavi to charge up at Tata Power. Now this station showcases the future of sustainable charging infra in India, as it is fed from a solar farm located just behind it. Naturally, we had to charge up our Nexon EV all the way to 100% with clean, green energy. The full charge and the confidence in the Nexon EV's range meant we then skipped our next charging stop at Hubli and headed straight to Adishakti Cars in Davangere, where not only the car got charged up, but so did the crew with a solid breakfast.
We are here at Tumkur and we are charging our Nexon EV here at Tata dealership at Tumkur. While en route, we already had set a record of fastest crossing into Maharashtra. We are eyeing on another record which is from Mumbai to Bengaluru.
On this leg, we had two of the more promising rally drivers in the country joining the crew, and they were stretching the Nexon EV's legs.
This is where things get exciting, and that's why we have thrown Sirish into the back seat so that he can get back to Instagramming. The Nexon EV, it has a sport mode that makes performance even more exciting than it already is. However, there's a long way to go and we need to stay consistent.
This is the third day हम इस कार को चला रहे हैं, चार्ज कर रहे हैं और चला रहे हैं. And flawless. I'm sure कोई भी customer इस कार को ऐसे stress में नहीं डालेगा. But the fact is, this car is still holding up to a stress. Is a testament to the car's reliability and the amount of engineering into it.
We took the nice road to bypass Bengaluru, then via Hosur to Krishnagiri. Here we used the strategically located Xeon 50 kilowatt DC fast charger. Our next stop was Rasipuram, where we had a lovely dinner of crispy ghee dosas at the Adyar Bhavan, while the Nexon EV quickly charged up at the Xeon fast charger.
After 4 days and nearly 4,000 kilometers across the entire length of the country, here are a few things that we've learned. Number one, the roads are a mixed bag. There are some places you will find excellent roads, some places you will find horrible roads, but roads are being built at a phenomenal pace. I think the Srinagar to Jammu highway, maybe another year it should be done, and that should turn it into a really nice driving road. The new expressways, the Trans-Haryana Expressway, we did a small bit of it last year when we did a driving event in that part, but now the entire thing is ready and it is a phenomenal road. And the thing that really impressed me is that these new expressways, they also have an eye out for safety. So these are roads that are now intelligently designed with all the safety measures in place. So as horrible as our city roads are becoming, the opposite is true for the highways. The highway network is growing rapidly. The roads are in good quality. There is a lot of work going on, really lots of work, and at fast clip going on all across the country. So driving is actually getting better. And the charging infrastructure is also being put in place at a fast clip. Down here in Tamil Nadu, in the south, there are multiple private players also. So there are a lot of chargers all over the place already operational. And these are fast chargers, 50 kilowatt chargers. So you just need to top it up for 45 minutes and you're good to go. In an EV, you can enjoy road trips on a highway. We've proved it, we've shown it to you.
In the dead of the night, we reached Vadipatti, where again the team at Chima Cars were waiting for us at the Xeon charger located right on the highway, saving us time and letting us get 45 minutes of shut-eye before heading out. And finally, the last charging stop at Tirunelveli.
After 93.5 hours, 3,906 kilometers, this is our 21st and final charging spot. Now, another 85 kilometers to get to Kanyakumari, and we are done with our epic K2K record run with the Nexon EV.
At Tirunelveli, we were joined by Tata Motors' MD, Shailesh Chandra, and Tata Passenger Electric Mobility's Vivek Srivatsa, who relieved me of the driving duties and drove the last 100 kilometers to Kanyakumari.
Now, 4 years back when we had started our journey in electric vehicles, there was no ecosystem. One was really thinking whether we can do a 400 kilometer journey or not. I'm so delighted, and that's the reason why I was so keen to, join this drive. That we are today talking about doing 4,000 kilometers. You had not to stop single time to do any slow charging. You saw frequently these fast chargers. So very happy to see the way the ecosystem is expanding. Nexon EV has worked so reliably in these 4,000 kilometers. It spoke about the weather conditions, the temperatures which were very starkly different from 0 degrees to possibly 40 degrees. And different kind of terrains you have gone through. We also had rains, right? So that was the one which was left, and we did that. And there will be more confidence, to the buyers who are on the fence to now evolve to EV, evolve to electrification. So I think I'm personally very happy to be present for this drive.
And with that, the Nexon EV rolls into Kanyakumari. We've done it! We also had the India Book of Records adjudicator on hand to verify the records. And all of these were validated by the data from the RaceLogic VBox data logger on the lead car.
The record for performing the fastest drive from Kashmir to Kanyakumari was set by Evo India.
95 hours, 46 minutes. The fastest time set by an electric car from Kashmir to Kanyakumari, set by the Nexon EV. 4,000 kilometers in just under 4 days. All the doubts that you had about electric cars, all the myths busted. You can road trip in India in an electric car, and what a journey it has been.
In addition, we set another 24 records, establishing a benchmark for electric cars in India, crucially with an Indian electric car.